Valentine's or Love Month. I'm going to call this the Love Month of February. We always celebrate Valentine's Day, but it's the time of love. Love is in the air. If you take a deep breath, can you smell that air? It should be love coming in, love going out. We should be spreading our love. We should have love from the top of our head to the bottom of our feet to share with other people and to share with ourselves. We're supposed to have love in our hearts, and so when I saw those hearts in the background that was in the timer, the thing that crossed my mind was love is in the air. You know, spiritual love, personal love. So love is great. Last week, I believe it was last week, Brother Andrew spoke on hate versus love. So tonight, I'm going to pick up the part about love, and like I said, when we should be able to breathe love. Can you imagine what it would be like if everybody loved everybody? Okay, there would be no evil because love conquers all. They say that love conquers all things. So, with that being said, I'm going to start with the word of prayer real quick. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for another day. I thank you for your many blessings. You are awesome. You're amazing. You are the only one that we can really depend on. Lord, we ask that you take my words, take this lesson, and let me give your words that you put in my mouth. Let those be from you. God, I ask that you protect us, continue to provide for us, continue to bless us. And God, I thank you for my family. I thank you for our health. And Lord, I ask there are so many requests of healing that we have in our church. I ask that you remember those people. Remember each one that are sick, each one that have financial crisis or financial problems. You have blessed us so much. You have brought some people out of their illnesses. You have brought some people out of their financial situations. Lord, I ask that you continue to do that. And like I said, please let me say what you want me to say in this lesson on love. In Jesus' name I ask, amen. Okay, now next week is actually Valentine's Day. I think the 14th. I think that's next week. So on Valentine's Day, this is what I want to start off with. I'm going to have a Bible scripture, and I'm going to have a Bible story to talk about on love. But for a few minutes, I want to talk about Valentine's Day. It's amazing. Like Christmas, it's always December the 25th. Everybody knows December the 25th is Christmas, and everybody gets a present or should get a present or recognition. It's Jesus' birthday. But, we celebrate Jesus' birthday. But yet, something about the month of December is a constant celebration. Everybody's, shopping or wishing Merry Christmas, sending out Christmas cards or whatever. But on Christmas Day, once the 25th is over, it's like, that's it. No more celebration. It's like it gets to completely to the top, and then all of a sudden, when everybody's opened their gifts and eating and everything, and by Christmas night, it's over. Okay. Well, it shouldn't be. We should continue to celebrate the birth of Jesus, but we have that particular day to do it, to celebrate. Well, same with Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, everybody talks about, the girlfriend's expecting some flower, the wife expecting flowers or candy or some type of recognition that their boyfriend or husband, spouse, whoever, is going to give them something. I've seen some wives get very upset because their husbands did not give them anything. Okay, I've seen girlfriends and wives, get upset. Husbands don't seem to care. They don't care if they get anything or not. I said, this sounds like a one-sided, celebration on love for Valentine's Day because the women or the ladies expect something, and the men really don't. They could care less. Most of them that I've talked to, they don't. They know they better get their spouse or their girlfriend something, or they're going to be in trouble. Well, to me, that is a conflict of love. That is not the actual meaning of love. It's a nice symbol. I'm going to talk about symbols of love here in just a minute. But that is not real love. To me, for Robert to show his love is not flowers. It's not, flowers going to die. It's not candy. I'm going to eat the candy. I'm going to get fatter, get a card after a few days, end up throwing it away because it becomes, just something to lay around, after a few days. But actions speak louder than words. Robert's got where he'll say, I'm going to be the first one to say it today. I love you. Now, that means a lot to me. He loves me. He tells me, I love you. I want to be the first one to say it. I love you. Or reach and hold my hand. We're elderly now, but that does not mean you stop showing love just because you get old. You breathe it in. You keep it. You show it. You open the door. I mean, we take turns. Sometimes I'll open the door for him. Sometimes he'll open the door for me. Most of the time he opens it for me. But it's that symbol or that action that you wouldn't realize or do not realize is noticed by the other person. To me, that's important. Going out and spending money, that's a nice. We go out to eat when we want to most of the time. That if we want to get some flowers, we'll go get flowers. We don't have to wait for Valentine's Day to show love. So what I'm saying is, Valentine's Day is a wonderful day one day of celebration. Go out to eat, get your candy, get your flowers. But once Valentine's Day is over, it should not stop. Okay? Love is supposed to be a continuous emotion. Now, I looked up love, and at one time, one thing about love is it is a noun and a verb. It depends on how you use it. So if you don't remember what a noun and a verb is, go look at it, because I don't want my lessons to get too long. They're getting so long lately. So now, with that being said, I'm going to do an object lesson here. That goes on to this part about expecting flowers and cards and everything. So I'm going to show y'all something. Now, y'all all remember these, when your kids were in school, when you were in school. I'm talking to the teens now, or even the adults, whoever's watching. Valentine's Day meant having a Valentine card box. But everybody's supposed to brought Valentines and put your name on it, other people, the kids' name on them. Even the teachers, they even had the teachers' cards in here. They're a little bit larger than the rest of them. Well, when I said, cards are supposed to represent love. And Valentine's Day is supposed to be representing, love, that you care for somebody. So this box caught my eye. It says 12 cards and lollipops. And it includes a teacher card, Valentine candy card kit. Now, I have not opened this because I want y'all to see what I see. I want to see it at the same time y'all see it, okay? So I'm going to open it up. It's supposed to have cards, okay, which it does. And it has lollipops. Isn't that something? It's supposed to be 12, okay? Now, I want to look through these cards real quick. Now, I've got blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 lollipops in here. And I'm just going to accept that there's 12 cards. But I want you to see something, okay? I can just about expect it. Okay. Now, look at these cards real quick for me, okay? I don't want to drag this out. It says, you're terrific. You're a wild one. You're cool. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you. You're a wild one. You rock. You're terrific. You rock. You cool. You're terrific. Okay. Tell me which card would tell you that they love you. Is there any indication on any of these little cards? I know these are for kids in school, but is there anything on these cards that would make you think they actually love you? Valentine's Day is about love. So any of these cards, would you pick out, oh, they love me. Here's one that says I love you. No, there's none here. But yet, if you take these candy, one of these lollipops here, okay. Take one of these lollipops and you put it in one of these little cards. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Here we go. Okay. If you saw that, and if you're a child and you see that, all of them, there's only one that has a lollipop in it. Now you're the first one to get to choose which one means they love you. But of course, first thing they're going to do is they're going to choose the one that's got the lollipop in it, okay? Because it's different. It has a special significance because it is different from all the rest, and it pretty much says, it's more important because it actually has a lollipop. So this is an example of what you look at when you're talking about love. You can get a card, but does it really mean they love you? You can get a lollipop. That lollipop's going to be gone after, a few minutes of eating on it. But my point here is cards are nice, but they really don't express a true meaning of love. They're fun to have. They stick them in their little box, their little Valentine box, and they take them home. And my kids, our kids would go through them and just get all the candy and throw all the cards away. You know, So it's the purpose. It is the signifying what Valentine's Day is about. You know, but these cards have nothing to do with love. They give you recognition, but like I said, after a few days, they're going to go in the trash. What you really wanting is a sign of true love. And if you think about what I said about Robert, um, what he does, and we do for each other, but he has really gotten more attentive lately, and I love it. I love it. It really matters to me. He doesn't realize how much I notice his actions toward me. So with that being said, that's the object lesson about love with these Valentine cards. So what is love? Okay, 1 Corinthians 13:4, which is the New King James Version that we have up here. It says, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up. Does not behave rudely. Does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Thinks no evil. Does not rejoice in iniquity, but it does rejoice in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Then when you take those verses here, I'm going to do this one just a minute, Robert. Can you back up for just a minute? Okay. When you take the verses, what was that? 4 through 7. I think it was, yeah. 4 through 7. It tells you what love is not. The negative part. Love is not this. Love is not this. So when you put that in perspective of your life, you can look and you can say, now, do I envy? Do I envy things? Do I suffer? Am I patient? I'm long suffering? Is my love suffers? Do I endure things, or do I fly off the handle easily? It bears all things, it believes all things, and hopes all things, endures all things. That is all positive. Love is a positive emotion. It is a noun. It is a verb. I mean, love is everything. Okay, now go ahead. Love never fails. Can you imagine never failing? Love never fails. When you have love, it does not fail. There's no evil. There is love never fails. But whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Whether there are tongues, they will cease. Whether there is knowledge, it will vanish away. Love never fails. Okay? 1 Corinthians 13:13. And now abide faith, hope, love. These three, but the greatest of these is love. So if we have love in our hearts, in our mind, in our soul, I mean, there is no evil. Like I said earlier, if everybody had love, I don't want to sing that old song, love, love, love. If you ever had that song in your heart of love with joy, um, it'd be such a worldwide happiness. There'd be no wars. I mean, that's why the Bible says, greatest of these is love, because there is no hate. Hate and love, like Andrew was talking about, hate versus love, they cannot be in our hearts both together. You can't hate and love at the same time. Hate is a horrible feeling. It is. You can see hate in people's eyes. Well, but you can also see love in people's eyes, and there is quite a difference when you're looking for that emotion of love. Okay. Now, with that being said, guess who we're going to talk about for a Bible lesson? It's going to be Ruth, and it's going to be found Ruth chapter 1, verses 6 through 18. And I'm going to read um, all of that. Okay. Now, then she arose. Now, I'm going to read this, and then I'll explain who she is. I'll tell you, she is Naomi. Okay. And the daughter-in-laws is Ruth and Oprah. Oprah, I think I can pronounce it. Then she rose with her daughter-in-laws that she might return from the country of Moab. For she had heard in the country of Moab that the Lord had visited his people by giving them bread. Now, see, they had gone to Moab, her and her family, her husband. They had gone there because there was a famine in their country. So they had gone to Moab. But now her husband has died, her two sons have died, and it's just her and her two daughters-in-law. Okay. Therefore she went out from the place where she was, and her two daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return to the land of Judah. And Naomi said to her two daughter-in-laws, Go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant that you may find rest, each in the house of her husband. So she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices, and they wept. And they said to her, Surely we will return with you to your people. But Naomi said, Turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there still sons in my womb that they may be your husbands? Turn back, my daughters. Go, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband tonight and should also bear sons, would you wait for them till they were grown? Would you restrain yourselves from having husbands? No, my daughters, for it grieves me very much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord has gone out against me. Then they lifted up their voices and wept again, and Orpah kissed her mother-in-law. But Ruth clung to her. Now, hold right there, Rob. Don't move a minute. Go back. Okay, right there you go. You know, this verse, I want to emphasize on this for a second. Now, Orpah, she kissed her mother-in-law, and she left. But Ruth clung to her. Now, can you imagine? Now, clung is a very important word, because clung means she didn't just hold onto her hand. She firmly held onto her mother-in-law, to Naomi. She was not going to let go. She was clinging to her. You know, you've had children or family members, maybe nieces or kids that really love you, and they just hold on to you. Don't take me with you. Take me with you. Don't leave me, or stay. Don't go away. That's the clung. That's what that clung. But Ruth clung to her. Okay, go ahead. And she said, Look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her gods. Return after your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave you or to turn back from following after you. For wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Now hold it, don't move. Okay. Entreat me not to leave you. Entreat means she was anxious. She was she was anxiety. She said, Please don't make me leave. I want to stay with you. I will go with you wherever you go. And you know, when I read that verse today, it made me thinking of love, because when you get married, that's what your love does in your heart. When you marry someone that you love, you don't you don't want to leave. I mean, you don't want to go back to where you came from. You don't want to go back to your parents' house. You don't want to go back to the past. When you're married, there's someone that you love. Now, this is if you're in a happy marriage. Um, you do not want to leave them. So this is what she's telling her. I will go, I will sleep, I will go wherever you go. And not only that, your God will be my God. See, she wasn't an Israelite. She was a Moabite. Okay? Her and Orpah, that's where she went back. She went to, she went home. and Naomi was fixing to go back to Bethlehem, back to her country. But anyway, um, Ruth did not want to stay there. She did not want to stay in her country. She was going to go with Naomi to her people, and she was going to. And to me, that's a love. That's love, to leave your own home to go with your mother-in-law. Naomi wasn't even her mother. That was her mother-in-law. Okay, go ahead, Robert. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts you and me. Okay, right there too. To me, that sounds just like part of a wedding vow. When you get married, you say, I do, to death do us part. And that's pretty much what Ruth was saying. I will stay with you until death. Okay? Now go ahead. When she saw that she was determined to go with her, she stopped speaking to her. Okay. Now you're probably saying, now why are we talking about Ruth and Naomi? Well, when you talk about the book of Ruth, the first thing you think about is the romance between Ruth and Boaz. Well, to get to that point of Boaz, what if Ruth did like Orpah? Now, I don't believe in what ifs, but this is just something for you to think about. She loved Naomi enough. I mean, she must have loved her more than her mother, or she would have stayed there. But she loved Naomi. Naomi must have been good to her daughter-in-laws for them to love her like they did. But what if Ruth did not? That was not in God's plan. He planned for Ruth, because this is part of Jesus's genealogy. Okay, that goes into the Bible. But if she had not stayed, no telling what would have happened. I can't answer that, but it's one of those what ifs. She had not done that. Okay. Um. So I'm going to tell you how this story began. Okay, I'm going to read it. It's a lot easier to explain it. Simpler. The story begins with an Israelite family in the land of Moab. No, Naomi and Elimelech have two sons who are married to Moabite women, one named Ruth and the other Orpah. Tragically, Naomi's husband and two sons die. All Ruth and Orpah have left is their widowed mother-in-law, Naomi, who has nothing to give them. Naomi says she will return to her hometown of Bethlehem, and that Ruth and Orpah should stay in Moab with their own people. Well, Orpah did, but I mean, she did cry. She kissed her. She didn't want to go, but she did not have that connection to Naomi as much as Ruth. Ruth was very close to Naomi because of what she said. You can tell she loved her. Um, Naomi had nothing to give Ruth and Orpah, and she told them that. She could not have any more children, and if she could, by the time they were old enough to get married, Orpah and Ruth couldn't. They'd been way up in years. So she said, "I'm too old to have any more children. Even if I could, you wouldn't be able to wait for them." And so Orpah agrees with Naomi's logic, and she stays in her country. She goes back home. But Ruth, she expresses her love toward Naomi through a profound commitment, saying, "Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." She promises Naomi that she will stay by her side and take care of her. And as the story unfolds, other people sees Ruth's loyalty to Naomi. Then when they get back to Bethlehem, Naomi changes her name to Mara. But um, it is really amazing how people watch you, because Naomi, they didn't even recognize Naomi. Naomi was so sad and so depressed. I mean, they didn't. They said, "Is that Naomi? Is that the same lady that the same woman that left here?" But while this was going on, they're also watching Ruth, and while Ruth is taking care of Naomi, Boaz is watching her. So the love for Naomi was important for Ruth, because it attracted Boaz. She was working hard out in the field, picking up the thrashing, that was left, and he watched her. And so, that's the second part of the love story. But my subject is between her and Naomi, because Naomi was not even a blood relative. That was her mother-in-law. Um, Ruth's love is marked by, and that was found in Ruth 3:10 through 11. Okay, about her loyalty to Naomi. Ruth's love is marked by deep feelings of affection shown through actions of generosity, forgiveness, and commitment to the other's well-being. It is an outward expression of real love. Real love. Now that goes back to what I was saying a minute ago about these, these Valentine cards. Yes, that is nice to do. But there's times you say, well, I'm doing this because everybody else is doing it. If you went to school without any Valentine's cards to give away. You're getting Valentines from others, but you had nothing to give back. Okay, that hurts you. So it wasn't really the fact that you wanted to give anybody a Valentine's, because you don't. When you're at school, I don't know very many people that love people enough to actually give them love Valentine cards. But still, everybody is doing it, but you say, what's wrong with me? I didn't bring any Valentine's card. People are going to be mad at me. Okay, so that is an emotion of I have to. I have to do this to be part of the group. So in this case, people were seeing that Ruth was taking care of Naomi, and Naomi was pretty well taking care of her. They loved each other that much. Um, Later in the story, um, Boaz can't help but notice Ruth's loyalty and her love to Naomi, and that's Ruth 3:11. He blesses her, and she reciprocates with loving generosity, leading to his desire to marry her. The authors parallel his loving commitment to Ruth's. Boaz embraces the way of loyal love toward their family. Now, loyalty is part of love. Okay, when you love somebody, you're going to be loyal to them. Now, Ruth was loyal to Naomi. She could have left. She could have went back. She could have went home with when Orpah left, and whenever Naomi left to go to Bethlehem, she could have stayed there. But she didn't. She went with Naomi back to Bethlehem, which was not her home, which was not Ruth's home. But she accepted that as her home because she loved Naomi, and because of her doing that, the second part of the love story comes up, and that's the story of Ruth and Boaz, because he was a rich man, he was an important man, and so if you want to read that part of the story, go ahead. But my emphasis tonight was on Ruth and Naomi. So with that being said, I want to do one more quick thing here. I was going to. My conclusion was going to be a little bit. I was going to be about book covers. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this, but this last thing I'll show you in just a minute. You can have 3 books sitting in front of you, and each book can have a book cover telling you what the book is about. It can tell you who the author is. It could tell you who published it and when it was published. All that book cover can tell you the title. It can tell you everything. Okay. But do you know, until you open that book, you don't really know what it is. I have done that. I have read the book cover to say, I wonder if I want to buy this book or check this book out from the library. And then get home with it, start reading on it, and be so disappointed. Well, that's how people can be. Okay? I may look fat, overweight, whatever you want to call it. But my heart is love. And until you really talk to me and get to know me, you don't know who I am. You could go out and talk to somebody that they may be jealous of me, they may envy me, they may not like me because I do have love. So they're going to tell you stuff that's not true. So until you open my book cover, my heart, my love, to see who I really am, you can't judge. You cannot tell who I am. It is not right to say, well, I'm going to go talk to Marsha's ex-husband, which I don't have an ex-husband. I only have one. But anyway, you could say, I'm going to go talk to Marsha's ex-husband and see who she really is. Well, that is really a dumb thing to do. Why would you go talk to somebody that if they got a divorce, they're going to have good words. They if they're honest with you, they will. But most of the time they're not. Because it's going to always be the other person's fault. So the best thing to do to find out if a person really is love, is to go and talk to them. Okay? Now, with that being said, I want to go to this one last little thing here. And now these three remain. We all know this verse, 1 Corinthians 13:13. Now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So, I got to thinking about that. You know, we have faith, okay? We expect, we know that God will heal. We have faith, we know it, we don't doubt it. But then we say, we hope God will give me my desires. I hope this is going to happen. I hope, and then you have love. Well, when you look at love, you say, but the greatest of these is love. Love is contingent. I mean, it is real. There is no doubt. There is no evil. I mean, like I said, first the lesson, the world would be so much better if it was love, love, love. Well, the enemy is Roman. So that's practically impossible to do because people are not close enough to the Lord to have that love that is strong enough to defend themselves from the enemy. When you have mindsets, the enemy cannot read your mind, okay? But he knows your act from your actions. Now, I was talking a while ago about Robert and I, actions, holding hands. Or we might even kiss in public. I mean, you may kiss me a quick peck, whatever, on my lips, whatever. But I don't care. Okay? To me, that is not just showing me that he loves me, but it's also showing other people. And I want other people to know that we love each other. Love is the greatest thing. Faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love is a wonderful feeling. It is a wonderful emotion. And to me, I can see it side by side with joy. Now, with that being said, I want to show y'all something. Well, when Robert and I got back from the mountains, we went on vacation during Christmas and New Year's, and our granddaughter stayed here. And while we were gone, she had gotten us our Christmas gifts. And when I walked in, and she had told me, she said, Mama, I've left you and Papa's presents. So she was at work. She said, I've left y'all's presents on the table. I said, well, I'm going to wait for you to open it up. No, I want you to open it before I get home. I said, okay. I opened that gift, and it wasn't that much to it, okay? I mean, it was not a big deal. But I want you to see what she gave me. And I'm going to tell you, I cried. I'm going to tell you why I cried. Okay. This was the card. It says, grandmother and granddaughter forever linked together. That's what it says. And this is what she gave me. It is a link. It is two links together. So when I saw that, and I know the history of my granddaughter, it made me cry because no one knows except the Lord how much we have been through these many, many years. Okay? That little link, I'll wear it. I don't wear it all the time. I leave it in my bathroom, where I can see it every day. But on church day, I wear it. I wear it around my neck because even though she's not going with us to church, to me, we're linked together through this necklace. And it is so important. And you say, well, Sister Marsha, that is just stupid. No, it's not stupid. Because when you have a situation where you say, God, where are you? Where are you in this situation? And then the situation involves your granddaughter and she leaves you this. To me, she is showing me that she does love me. And I know a while ago I said that objects does not matter. Well, some things do when you know what the history is. So, with that being said, to me, that is a sign of love more as much as Robert holding my hands or kissing me because she made an effort because she loves me. So, with that being said, I want to tell y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day next week. And I am speaking for myself, my family, and hopefully the church. We love you all and spread a little joy and spread a little love. Good night.